Gonna do some housekeeping. Load up the video on my computer so I can spam that link. Because I want people to donate to Streamlabs today. Put in personal promotion on the Tundra. What's your bara on Genlock hours? Just post it here as well. Tweet it out. That is not how you spell spider. That is. Alright, let's do that. Just load up on my iPad so I can see the chat. Because my phone is dead. Alright, and we should be ready to go. So, when we last left off, sorry, I had to turn down the volume and mute myself. So where we last left off, we had done, I know we did the Mary Jane stuff, and they had just found a cure for the Devil's Breath.
Trying to destroy our power grid. The Vulture raining death from above. Spider-Man egging them both on in the very heart of our city, brawling like children. Lethal children.
Sleep it off.
Web throwers in. I hate these whiplash guys. They're one of the tougher enemies.
Convicts would use their freedom for something non-destructive, like knitting.
Get all 20.
Canasta. Love canasta.
Sable teams, this is Control. What's the status in Murray Hill?
Control, engaged in active pursuit of a fugitive vehicle.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do this one. We're still early on in the stream.
If I stop the convicts first, the Sable guys will shoot at me. And if I stop Sable first, the convicts might get away. Just once I'd like an easy choice.
Ah, there we go.
Boosters are down. Engaging priority target.
More Sable guys. Looks like my webs bring all the boys to the yard.
They're like each better than yours. There we go.
Chalk up one for the good
missing.
guys.
Sable teams, this is Control. What's our status in Times Square?
What is it with people trying to kill me while all wearing the same outfits?
I don't think I'd heard that one before.
Whew, that was actually a nice break.
Ah, there we
Thanks.
go. Oh man. Another crime. I think I'm gonna ignore that one. Get closer to my destination. It's confirmed now. Yeah, it must be.
Ground teams, need a status update from Lenox Hill.
Officers respond. Witness report of an active drug deal. Incident was reported in Central Park.
Can't let that happen.
Drug deals and criminals. They go together like cookies and milk. Gotta be honest, not a fan of Big Pharma. Especially back alley Big Pharma.
The Libertarian Spider-Man says, I'm not a fan of Big Pharma. It's actually kind of funny because, for those of you who don't know, Spider-Man's creator, or one of them, Steve Ditko, super conservative. Very much like against the hippie movement and stuff.
Fisk did keep these wannabe pushers in check. Wait a minute, what's that feeling? Do I miss him? No. Gotta split before the cops get here. Can't let him hurt that victim anymore. Is this the mosh pit? Great!
See, this is stuff I usually love about superhero games. It's just running around the city, saving people from scumbags.
Oh what? It's not fun getting beat up? We'll sit with that for a while.
Okay, I'm almost there. I have more people shooting at me.
Officers,
As
be
always.
advised. A mugging was just reported. Requesting officers on scene in Bloomingdale.
Alright, cutscene. Hello, Professor LS. And Let's Watch said, man, RTX is going to be interesting, isn't it? I'm expecting questions about Vic, the CEO leaving, and about the crunch time. I'm gonna let this cutscene play out and kind of collect my thoughts on that, because RTX is a pretty big event. There's a lot that goes into those 3 days.
Have to take care of these demons before I can follow Lee into the lab. Time to KO those snipers.
I didn't mean to do that. Alright, so RTX. I don't expect questions about Vic
Have to take care of these demons before I can follow
for
Lee into
two
the lab.
reasons. One,
Time to KO those
they've
snipers.
already said that they don't want there to be questions about Vic. Two, I think any questions they'd have about Vic will already be answered before the Q&A session even starts. Like, the Ruby panel is one of the first panels in the
Literally didn't see
convention,
that coming.
and they will undoubtedly reveal who Crow's new voice actor is going to be. And so there's really just... I highly doubt that there's even going to be a need for Vic questions. That everything else outside, like, casting and stuff is already, like... It's in the file. You can just Google that shit. Like, they're not going to say
Need to get
anything
through
that...
these demons quick before Lee
you
gets a
can't-
hold of the anti-serum.
that you can't, like, get through just looking into the case.
Nap time.
Now, as for the glass door stuff, I do expect questions on that to be asked. I don't
Easier to take
expect...
these guys out if they're split up.
I don't expect, like, a good
Get these
answer,
guys off stealthily.
but I do expect the questions to at least be asked. What was the other part of that? CEO leaving. It's not the CEO that left. It's at least I don't think so. I'm pretty sure the CEO is still there. The change was Gray is no longer going to be the head of animation. He's still going to be at Rooster Teeth, though. He's still going to be the writer and director of
Demons
Genlock.
chewed through Sable. Lee's on the warpath.
But he's just no longer going to have, like, the responsibility of a producer and head of animation. I just want to see if I can do this whole part, like, stealth
Web
mode.
down that tower.
Spider-Man, leave now. My men will handle this.
Sable? Lee wiped out the agents stationed here. They're not handling anything.
You have been warned, superhero.
Try to do this quietly. Sable made good on her threat, but these guys aren't looking to team up.
Tired of you harassing our agents, Spider-Man. This ends tonight.
You guys think I took out your men? You gotta be kidding me!
So annoying. As far as like other things I expect from RTX, I expect there to be some. Obviously, they'll show something for Volume 7, whether it be like a trailer or a character short or whatever. Even if it's just like literally do what they did like in the lead up to Volume 3, where they just showed like concept art and stuff of new characters.
I really wish Sable would cut me some slack. We should be on the same team.
I don't know if I ever addressed this kind of minor issue about the game, but you have different like suit abilities that you can like mix and mash. Like you have the suit styles which are just aesthetic, but then each one of them gives you access to unlock a different suit ability that are all like completely unique. But the only one that's of any use is the very first one you get, which is the one I just used, where you kind of like flash green and it builds up the focus like super fast.
Demons and Sable are dead.
That's the first one you
Time
get,
to
and
follow
so
me
it like
inside.
it renders all the other outfit abilities pointless because it's the best one.
Why are you
hands down?
so heavy?
You harass my men, destroy my equipment, and cost my client millions. Give me one good reason I should not kill you right now.
Listen, I don't like you, you don't like me. But Lee has your client inside this building right now, and he's gonna kill him if we don't do something. We could fight each other, or we could fight Lee, but not both.
Yeah, Professor Ellis, I'm gonna skip your question about YouTube for now. I will get back to that, but because Let's Watch asked like the Glassdoor controversy, I already kind of made my opinions
Will help me secure
known
Norman.
on Twitter.
After that, I make no promises.
Works for me. Lee's out of control.
It's messed up. It's a shame that they think that they can get away with it and that it's alright and that it doesn't break, you know, labor laws that are in place for those reasons.
Okay, Lee. No more running.
But it's not
This ends
just Rooster Teeth, it's the animation industry as a whole. And it speaks to kind of
a way to reach the Martin Lee I know. The man who built Feast.
kind of a different problem with Rooster Teeth that was almost inevitable. They're not businessmen. They're running a multi-million-dollar company, and they're all just a bunch of, you know, excuse the derogatory term because they are more than this, but you know, deep down inside, they're all just a bunch of jack-offs that like to play Halo. Like I know they brought in like more business-minded people who actually like have degrees and stuff.
Accident. You sound as
But, like,
political as Osborn.
At the end of the day, the only people they care about within their company are the people that go on camera. Nothing else matters because no one else in their mind makes the money. totally not like they
You're
just.
more than your past. Don't let it control you.
It's a multi-million-dollar version of that. Oh, it's for exposure thing that has infested the fan art and fan fiction industry. Like, oh, why would I pay you for this commission when the fact that I'm even asking for it means that, like, you know, I'm famous, you're not. So when I ask you to do something, you should just do it and accept whatever price I give you because it's for exposure. That's what Rooster Teeth has been doing to their animators. And it's really messed up. And I'm glad that people like Jordan Whitman have called them out on it. And it's going to force them to, like,
fueling his power.
Actually do something and actually treat their animators right. You know, give them the time that they need to finish the fucking animation. Like, on the whole, I'm gonna use Ruby as the example because that's kind of my bread and butter. But, like, on the whole, Ruby is very, very good looking. It's a very good looking, very aesthetically pleasing show. The problem is that even the best animated bits don't look finished, which is, you know, it's fine. Okay, like TV animation, it's not comparable to movie animation for a lot of reasons. And I've discussed all this on Twitter as well. A movie and a TV show will have about the same amount of budget per year. But here's the thing. That movie's budget is for 2 hours worth of work. You know, an animated movie is an hour and a half to 2 hours. Like, very rarely are they over 2 hours. Whereas a TV show, you're talking minimum 3 to 4 hours. And also, production time. A movie tends to get 2 to 3 years of production time at minimum. A year, a TV show will get a year at maximum.
Don't let revenge win.
That's where crunch time comes in. To make animation look good, you have to have time. You can't just, you know, hire a bunch of animators and pay them a lot. You have to have the time to actually, like, draw each frame or render each frame, whatever the case may be. And I'm gonna pause it because this boss battle is kind of intense, and I want to finish this thought and the next question before I get into this, or before I get into the fight. Yeah, that's where crunch time comes in, and I said this on Twitter, where I said, like, even the best of the best looking TV shows, think of some of the greatest pieces of animation ever put on TV. You know, Full Metal Alchemist, Batman the Animated Series, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Even those shows don't look anywhere near as good as even remedial middle tier movies like, you know, Prince of Egypt or Princess and the Frog or trying to think of another 2D, you know, maybe that looks good but wasn't like high budget. Anything by Don Bluth, literally anything Don Bluth ever did. Land Before Time, An American Tail, Secret of NIMH, like those movies look better, like by miles and miles better than TV animation. Even the best TV animation, those aren't the best looking movies of all time. And to go through like 3D animation, like, you know, Land of the Lustrous has kind of set the benchmark of CG anime as far as looks go. Land of the Lustrous doesn't even look as good as like Norm of the North. To be perfectly honest, like as far as like just how smooth the animation is, how consistent it is, the expressions that they get out of the characters. Norm of the North is a god-awful movie. It looks ugly as sin, and it still actually has better CGI than Land of the Lustrous, just on a pure kind of like number crunching level. Yeah, let's watch. I just said a few minutes ago that, like, I'm expecting them to reveal Crow's new voice actor. I kind of hope they delay Ruby just as a token of goodwill. I don't think they necessarily need to, unless they're changing character designs again. So I think you know the benefit of 3D animation is that you don't have to rebuild assets from the ground up every single time. You can just reuse all the same assets. Like they could reuse all the same assets that they had in the Volume 4 stuff with Weiss. They don't have to build that much new stuff per volume. It's kind of that's one thing that TV has adapted since before animation came on TV. Like talk about like set designs for old like even live action shows. You go to like Honeymooners or whatever the case may be, where like the more assets you can reuse, the cheaper and faster it's going to be. And this applies to all mediums. It applies to games. Speaking of which, Breath of the Wild 2 looking good. I'm just excited that Breath of the Wild 2 exists. Yeah, the Breath of the Wild 2 will reuse a lot of the same assets from Breath of the Wild. Star Wars reuses a lot of the same models and costumes throughout all the movies. You'll have TV shows. Batman, the 1960s version with Adam West. They only filmed Batman leaving the Batcave once in that entire show, and that bit is in every single episode. So, before I get to anyone else's questions, I want to address Professor LS's question that he asked earlier about my thoughts on do I think YouTube is ruining gaming? Yes and no. I have not seen MatPat's video. I know he did a video. I have not watched it. I have not watched MatPat in a hot minute. So it's something that never really occurred to me. It's not so much YouTube ruining it. It's YouTube enabling companies to ruin it. Like, recently I've been getting a slew of copyright claims on my Let's Plays. On, my streams, my Spider-Man streams in particular, even. And the claims are being made by a company that has nothing to do with Spider-Man. And I've refuted them. Like, if Sony were the ones making these claims, or if Marvel were the ones making these claims, I just, like, wash my hands of it. It's not worth the penny or two I'd get off of these videos. But, like, it's not fair to Sony and to Marvel for these other companies that have nothing to do with Spider-Man to make copyright claims on my gameplay of their game. And I'm experiencing this with my Valentine's Day specials too, because my Valentine's Day specials, they use a lot of music. And so, a copyright claim was just posted on my second Valentine's Day special. The first time that I had a copyright claim on that video, and it's been up for well over a year. It was legit. It was the company that owns the rights to Outkast, their song Roses, which I used in that video. It's fair, but it's not fair to the other 10 artists and 10 production companies whose music I also used. Like, demonetize my video if you have to, but, like, I let them know that in my copyright claim that, like, if they think this doesn't fall under fair use, let them know that, like, other people have rights to music. So yeah, in my experience, it's really just YouTube enabling people like that, and enabling game industries to, like, make it not fun anymore. I don't even know what direction MatPat was going on with the video, or if that's even relevant to the conversation, but that's my response to, is YouTube ruining gaming. Alright, so I'm gonna do this boss battle.
Osborn must be punished. His chances has infected this city for too long.
Osborn deserves true justice. He won't see it unless you stop now.
I'll never stop.
I'm gonna do this boss battle, then I'll answer more of your questions. And please, if you can, I don't like e-begging, but if you can, donate to my Streamlabs. I know a couple of you like to donate to my YouTube or whatever when I stream. It doesn't happen very often, but it happens often, you know, enough where like it's a possibility. And if you're going to donate to Streamlabs. I put a link in the description, and I also put a link in the chat, and I'll post it again when I'm done with this boss battle. But yeah, with Streamlabs, more of that money, I need money in my PayPal more than I need money coming in through Google AdSense. Just because I have a couple things like hooked up to my PayPal that I use to support other people, like Kitty Kirishima and Raymond McNeil over at Celtic Phoenix Productions. And so, like, the more money I have on my PayPal, the more I am able to, you know, pay it forward by supporting them. And, you know, also another thing I have hooked up to my PayPal is Adobe Premiere. And so, like, yeah.
Fight it, Martin! You can walk away!
No! Osborn must suffer!
I remember this battle being intense. I don't remember what it entails, though.
I know you can beat the demon, Martin!
Beat the demon? I am the demon!
I am the Mandarin! So just the way he delivered that line reminded me of Guy Pearce in Iron Man 3.
That is a big deal. Big.
You and Osborn will share a grave! Enough! This will all be over soon.
I sure hope so.
My will is stronger than yours!
We'll see about that. Can't give up. He's almost down.
God, there's just a lot of goons here. that it? That's it? Nope. Maybe. Oh, I think quick taboo did. Or not. Or maybe. Okay, I don't remember what all this battle entails.
Osborn needs to pay.
I know. But this is the wrong way, Martin.
Doc.
Useless.
So brutal.
Otto? That look on your face. You can't imagine how satisfying it is. Ready for your final act?
Hey,
Where's Otto?
gone. I would not worry about him right now.
He needs a hospital.
No hospital. Feast.
Yeah, another cutscene.
I need to speak to your head doctor.
There's no doctors here.
Well, who's running this place?
Me, mostly.
Oh, okay. Well, it's been a while, but I'll do my best. I'll need masks, gloves,
right.
whatever you have that's sterile.
Yep.
Thank you. You can thank me by not dying.
Oh my god.
It's always rough seeing, you know, heroes like that, like all beat up and stuff. I love it. And Spider-Man is the best at just looking beat.
Hey, take it easy.
Where's May?
Questions.
They say she could go at any moment.
Kieran asks, so what do you think about J.J. Abrams writing a Spider-Man book? I don't think J.J. Abrams is a very good writer, but I think he's better than anyone that they've had writing Spider-Man the last, like, decade or two.
Maybe Spider-Man needs help from his friend Peter. Peter
Can't be any worse than
remember?
What's his face?
If anyone can find a weakness, it's him.
Fire Dragon X asks, what new voice actors would you want for Ruby? See, you bring up Troy Baker in your comment. I actually think Troy Baker is very overrated. He's good sometimes, but more times than not, he does this very bland, monotone voice for a lot of his characters, and it's something that anyone can do.
No, that's not it.
Like,
maybe it's this one.
It works for Pain, but it does not work for, like, Yamato or, Talion from the Middle-earth games. He's an absolute bore in those. That scene that just played is what I was talking about last time I streamed this, where it's like, it's just absurd that the spider waited that long to bite someone. And also just like it was looking for Miles Morales the entire time, like it knew. Alright, so let's pause. Let's get that. See what's going on and across the shit. God damn it, Floof. You got me. One of the Discords, Floof posted like an image that it looked like it was a spoiler tag. Or it looked like it was tagged as a spoiler. It was just an image. I got 2 Twitter notifications, both of them likes. So here's a link for Streamlabs again. If you would be so inclined, you know, support the channel, support me, whatever. Professor LS talks about, I don't get why music companies don't get the fact when someone uses a song. Copyright stuff in general is like, it's so that they can get their money from it. Like, it's, you know, pirating is a very serious crime that has harmed the industry. It completely destroyed the record industry at the turn of the century with websites like LimeWire and Napster making all the music for free and stuff, so that you know, music was no longer profitable, which has led to the downfall of the record industry in the 2 decades since then. But yeah, there's fair use, and a lot of times, it'll be Twitter bots, that'll like get triggered. It's like, oh, they detect a part of a song, and so like the bots just don't know better, which is why the copyright, like, which is why you gotta fight that stuff, you know, especially if it's the bots, like, hey, this falls under fair use and stuff. And companies will change like what they consider fair use on the fly. Like, I know Universal were, like, really anal about Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and for good reason, because that movie was a crime against life. It was a crime against 200 million years of evolution, and yeah, like they even said like, oh, you can only use what's on our official YouTube channel, and then people would create reviews just off of what was on their official YouTube channel, and they'd still copyright claim it because it was a negative review, and it was always a negative review because, again, that movie is just the worst. As far as Ruby voice actors, I predict Matthew Mercer will get a role at some point. I don't really have much of a wish list. I really like Felicia Angel, if I'm pronouncing that right. She's one of my favorites. She is Miku in Quintessential Quintuplets and was also Emmy in Devil's a Part-Timer. Eclectic asked a question and then answered it himself. Eclectic asked, did Doc Ock always have 4 robot tentacle arms? No. In fact, in the early game in Spider-Man, you actually help him make them. Peter Parker and Doc Ock were working on prosthetics for like veterans and stuff who had lost limbs in wars, and so that's where the arms came into play. He just went crazy. Let's watch. I answered this earlier. I don't think they will delay Ruby Volume 7, but I think they should, just if for no other reason than as a token of goodwill. Like in good faith, like, hey, see, we're totally listening to you. And yeah, Eclectic, you hit the nail on the head with that. Like, pirating music, especially, like it keeps people from being able to like make money on their art. But fair use is in place for a reason. Now, there are certain like criteria and stuff that you can fill. All right, let's get back into the swing of things.
MJ's right. I built the neural interface. That means I can destroy it. There must be something at the lab I can use.
This is Control. Where are we with Union Square? Observation post up. We'll relay any priority sightings. Got it. Engaging priority target.
Yeah, we need to have a talk about boundaries.
Spider-Man. Hello.
Man, I gotta change this number.
I must leave New York. Recent events give me pause. Your rescue of Osborn, despite his hatred, it affected me. I must return home. Reflect on this life I choose.
Hey, I think I'm actually gonna miss you and your death troopers.
Unfortunately, my agents will stay. Though I question our work, they do not. And Osborn continues to pay. I am sorry.
So close to being good news.
Indeed. I will miss you and your bizarre witticism, Spider-Man. Until we meet again.
What a strange, violent lady.
Target is hostile.
Is it too much to hope this will teach Sable to focus on actual criminals instead of me? Yeah, too much.
advised, a food supply location is being burglarized. Incident is ongoing in the West Village.
Literally stealing food from hungry mouths. Even for felons, that's on the nose. You want the food? Try and take it! Hey, you forgot this knuckle sandwich! How you like that, spider? It's over. Come. Chances of letting him win! Take cover! Escaped Khan stealing food from the needy. Talk about eroding your faith in humanity. Thanks, buddy.
I love the movement in this game. I know everyone praises that about it, but like, there's a reason why it's so often praised. It is a...
We need a 1013.
It is a natural, extension of, you know,
Officers are taking sniper
the
fire.
Spider-Man 2 stuff. That was so good. Eclectic asks, do you think Spider-Man should remain an independent superhero, or as his career goes on, he should be a part of a super team? I think Spider-Man is at his best when he is working either alone or in small groups. I don't like the idea of him just like chilling out at Avengers Mansion, or in the helicarrier, and just like being sent out on missions by other heroes. Like I prefer him as someone who like is proactive, like constantly patrolling the city, doing some like detective work, and then yeah. Approaching the quote-unquote final boss battle. But after this, I'll still be like, I'll still be like chilling and like doing some side quests and bonus stuff, and
Footage of Mayor Osborn being held captive on the roof of Oscorp Tower.
at least for I've been going for less than an hour. I should have just finished this up last time.
You want me to beg? Not gonna happen.
The world will know the truth before they mop you off the pavement.
Go! Oh!
Tell them what you did.
I never.
Everything you have is built on lies! Lies!
God, the guy they got to play Doc Ock in this game is amazing.
You stole my company, my ideas. Now, the truth.
The truth.
Let's watch as. Have you seen Toy Story 4 yet? No.
The truth is,
I have not, and I probably won't see it in
when
theaters.
you work for me.
I've heard good things about it, but like,
you could never accept
I am kind of against the idea of Toy Story 4. So I just slapped my mic there. I'm against the idea of Toy Story 4 even existing. It's Blade Runner 2049 levels of completely unnecessary sequel. The thing I don't like about this boss battle is that it forces you to use the black suit, and the black suit is actually like one of the lamest suits in the game.
Give me the anti-serum. Otto.
Kieran, and then Let's Watch also asks, what are your thoughts on the other Toy Story movies? I think they're perfect. The first Toy Story movie is in my top 5 favorite movies of all time. Toy Story 2 is arguably even better. It's not as partial to me just because there's not as much nostalgia involved in it. And Toy Story 3 was the perfect conclusion to the entire series. Yeah, I love all 3 of them. I saw all 3 of them in theaters. The first Toy Story movie was the first movie that my parents ever took me to see as a kid. It was on my 2nd birthday. So I don't remember actually seeing it in theaters, but I do know that that is a thing that happened. Saw Toy Story 2 in theaters. Toy Story 3 was not the first movie I saw in 3D, but it was one of the first movies I saw in theaters in 3D. The first being How to Train Your Dragon, which came out like just a few months earlier.
People are dying! They need the anti-serum now! I will cure the city after I bring down Osborn! Let me save the city! Then we can do whatever you want! I already know what I want! Now get out of my way before I really hurt you! How much is Osborn paying you to protect him? I'm not protecting him! I'm trying to save the city!
I will say, of all the Spider-Man games I've played, I do think, gameplay-wise, this is the one that has the best Doc Ock fight. A lot of the other ones are very, like, limited, or... A lot of Spider-Man games shy away from having Doc Ock, even in the game, because of, like, how he moves and stuff. It's just very hard to program and stuff. It's
what
not...
happened to the man who wanted to help people? The weakling? The loser? He's gone! Enough of this! Disappointment. Parker.
You knew?
tried to warn you, Peter, but you didn't listen.
You.
I won't let you win. This means too much to me.
Not more than it means to me!
I love this dynamic. Because it's a video game, they have more time than a movie, and so this just, it does a lot more with this dynamic than Spider-Man 2 did. Not that Spider-Man 2 is inferior, I actually do like Spider-Man 2 more than I like this game, but like, this game just, it uses its time well when it comes to this dynamic.
See all the people you're hurting? You'll never understand! You haven't suffered like I have! You should be on my side! I won!
Yeah, that moment right there, you should be on my side, I was. And also just another thing a lot of Spider-Man games shy away from is fights like this, where we're on the side of a building. Like, that's just something that like most Spider-Man games just don't like to even try to program. Granted, they're basically just programming it like any other cutscene fight, and then just like changing the context.
Then I guess you'll have to save yourself!
You were my hero! You meant so much to me! I hate that you're making me do this! We were going to change the world!
They just that line in particular is like, it makes perfect sense and is totally accurate and kind of heartfelt in this context, but like, it just actually gave me Adam and Blake flashbacks. Like, I'm Adam beating on Blake right now.
You look tired, Parker.
Not tired. Just hurt.
Otto! Stop!
If you want to change the world, you have to be the kind of man who can make the hardest decisions.
I couldn't agree more. No!
The anti-serum.
Peter, I saw you as a son. I should have known you'd turn on me, just like all the others.
Turn. Turn. I've worshipped you. Your mind, your conscience, wanting to help others. The way you never gave up.
That's because men like us have a duty, a responsibility.
With great
to
power
use
comes
our
great
talents in the
responsibility.
service of others,
Yep.
even if they don't appreciate it.
And
We have
that's
to do
the
what's best
that's the dark
for those
turn.
beneath us, whether they understand it or not.
No, you're wrong.
But he's
You
he's
are
just
everything
twisted.
I wanted to be. You just
away!
Yes, of course. You're right, Peter. Oh, I see that now. The neural interface affected my mind. But I can fix it. We can fix it. Together. If you'll help me.
Do everything I can. I'll make sure you get the best help.
No! If they put me away, they'll take my arms. I'll be trapped in this useless body. Please, Peter. That wasn't me. You said you'd never abandon me. You promised. Remember? And of course, you rest easy, knowing your secret is safe with me.
Yeah, he's trying to blackmail him.
Is best, Doc. It's all any of us can.
Try blackmailing Spider-Man into helping him.
Even when it hurts like hell.
Peter, where are you going? Peter! Peter!
Whew. And it's not over yet. Still a cutscene or two. Kieran asks, what your favorite alternate version of Spider-Man? Spider-Man Noir. I love me some good noir. Fire Dragon X said, but seriously, how is Troy overrated? That's what I want to know. He didn't voice any characters in RWBY as far as I can tell. Yeah, no, he's voiced like hundreds of other characters with the same monotone voice that I'm using right now. Like, anyone who has played the Middle-earth Shadows of Mordor games,
I'll give you a few minutes.
knows just how Jennifer Lawrence Troy Baker actually is. When he phones it in hard. And when he doesn't phone it in, a lot of times he's just playing himself, like he did with Delson Miles in Infamous Second Son or Greed in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, where he's literally just using his normal talking voice anyway.
You're gonna be okay,
the only
man.
times that he's given a good performance is when he's doing an impression of Mark Hamill's Joker, or when he's playing an old man in Last of Us. Those are the only two performances I've seen him in where he actually does a good job. Last of Us, and when he's ripping off Mark Hamill.
Known for a while.
And Mark Hamill just does it better.
I did. And I am so proud of you. And Ben will be too. All the people you've saved.
I don't know what to do.
Henny asked, any favorite costumes from this game? Yeah, there's a couple of them I really like. I really like the Sam Raimi suit. I like all the ones that were in the movies. Now there's the Spider-Man Homecoming suit that I was using at the beginning of the stream, and then the Iron Spider suit that I used last time. Yep. Had to watch Aunt May die so that he can mass produce the cure for everyone else. Yuri Lowenthal does such a good job in this game. Such an underrated actor. Fire Dragon S asks again. Yeah, I already answered the voice actor question. I said like Matthew Mercer, Felicia Angel, Tia Ballard, is another one I'm really starting to like a lot. I would have said Jamie Murch up until like just a few months ago. Turns out she's kind of a scumbag hypocrite. You know, she loves doing, you know, shows like High School DxD and Shimonetta, where she gets to be all pervy and stuff, but, oh, you know, give your fans a hug and you're the devil himself, I guess. Kieran Porter asked, so what's your least favorite version of Spider-Man? Miles Morales in the comics. Just on the whole. There's a lot of I'm not like that well versed in Spider-Man comics, but I know there's a lot of Spider-Man comics that I didn't get into because it really depends on the writer. It really does. If you're gonna be a comic book fan, you really gotta look into writers and what they've done and how they go about doing things and what their interpretation of the characters are, because that determines a lot as well.
So?
Hi, Mary Jane Watson, Associate Editor.
Congrats!
Professor Ellis, thoughts on Steve Blum
What about you?
as
Find a job yet?
Crow?
Oh, no.
I'd be okay with it.
I'll be right
I
with you,
think
honey. Thanks,
Steve
honey.
Blum is
I was actually
overused.
considering a career change.
He's a decent
I might
actor,
wanna
but
become a
he's
chef.
only got the one voice. It's a cool voice,
I'm sorry, no.
but
You're a scientist.
he's been in
A
everything,
good
and
one.
it kind of like
In the
annoys
last
me
project I worked
how
on, I created a
much
monster
people
octopus
use
that
him as like a
almost destroyed the city.
cliche. Like, oh, here's your stereotypical Steve Blum character.
I mean, you do make a hell of a chicken curry.
I do. Still working on my dumplings.
Kieran Porter says, so do you think someone has to like a character to write for them? Yes.
Going camping?
Yes.
My new place isn't going to
I
be ready
do.
for about a week, so I'm going to be crashing with Miles for the next few nights.
Oh. You know, you can always stay at my place. Only if you want to.
No, I mean, yes. I mean, no, I don't. I not want to. But meaning, I do want to, but only if you do. Me neither.
There's only two scenes that like kind of got to me. One of them was actually pretty close to the beginning. It was when Ant-Man reunited with his daughter, and she's like an adult. That scene really got to me. Skip the credits. And then
I'm not an expert or anything, but
yeah.
I think it's in the way that you ask her.
I'm getting too nervous. Hey, alright, so where do you want this?
Right over here's fine.
Alright. Hey, so Pete?
Yeah.
I, kinda gotta talk to you about something I can't tell my mom about.
What's up?
Well, weird things have been going on. Like, physically.
Oh. Oh.
I like the scene for two
You're
reasons,
at that age
and they're
where
kind of
your
opposing
body
reasons.
starts to change, and so you may be noticing.
Like
some
here,
areas-
Peter's
No,
like,
exactly.
oh, he's talking about puberty and stuff. And then it kind of dawns on you that like, wait, Miles is supposed to be like 16 or 17 years old, right? Like,
No.
he's gone through puberty. that's long
Pretty
past
weird,
him.
right?
Not that weird.
Yeah, just totally normal thing for people to do. Let's watch. Tony dying is the other scene that kind of got to me. God, so many post-credit scenes in this game. They really want to make a sequel.
We were so close. But I'll keep trying. I will.
The
find
quivering
you.
of the lip there is really, really good stuff.
I love you, son.
Alright, I'm on top of the Empire State Building, right? No. English Tower. Yeah, this has to be the Empire State Building. And dead.
All units, 1043. Officers are under fire. Officers in Murray Hill. Stand by for further instructions.
Yeah, let's have some fun.
This is not how you exchange insurance information.
Spider-Man, take him down. Only so many places to hide. Get in the water!
Yuri, you're back. How's your mom?
Fine. Right back to complaining about not having grandchildren.
So you gonna take that vacation now?
Are you crazy? There's no time for that. The apocalypse didn't happen, which means we've got a city full of loose ends to clean up.
Sounds like a big job. So we're up to it.
Not you. For a job this tough, we need Spider Cop.
You said it. You even
So
did the voice.
cringy.
Okay, don't make it weird.
You like me. You really like me.
You made it weird. Let's go. We've got work to do.
So cute.
I can't wait.
I remember one of the Spider-Man comic runs I read.
With turmoil.
There's Officer DeWolf, I think. That was like his inside person in the police. They had a really good like. They had a lot of really good like interplay together.
This is Control. What's the situation in Bryant? We have detained an unauthorized gathering of civilians. Proceeding to question and arrest as needed. Albertine, stay alert. Lieutenant, get the civic. Get Spider-Man.
Come on. Demons and escaped prisoners on the loose. You're arresting protesters.
questions. Eclectic asks, why do you think Marvel Comics don't do sidekicks? They do sometimes. One of the most recent Daredevil run that wrapped up actually gave Daredevil a sidekick called, Blind Spot, I think was his name. They do sometimes, but most of the time, you gotta remember kind of the history of the two companies. They're very much of two different eras.
Happy to sign autographs. No selfies.
Like when DC was creating all their heroes, there were questions on like whether kids would even like heroes.
Jetpack dudes grounded. Good one, Pete.
Like Robin, like for instance, Robin, the most famous sidekick, was created, because, you know, the Detective Comics was worried that kids wouldn't relate enough to Batman. And you actually see this in some of the older Marvel comic properties too, like Captain America. Bucky Barnes was created for the same exact reason. It was to make Captain America appeal more to a younger demographic. Marvel never had to really worry about that because they made their heroes relatable anyway, just through personality. Like, Fantastic Four was a dysfunctional family, X-Men were oppressed, Spider-Man was himself a kid.
This station monitors how they're
like, Spider-Man never needed a sidekick because sidekicks were invented to make heroes appeal to younger demographics, and Spider-Man is already part of that younger demographic because he was, you know, he was introduced as a teenager.
Explode. People could get hurt, and it would definitely be the end of this station. I need to use my electric webs to shock the screens into shutting down, and I don't have long to do it.
Let's watch as how long before Spider-Man 2 comes out, you think? They haven't even announced a sequel.
Maybe someday there'll be a billboard of me. That doesn't say menace on it. I always knew someday they'd weaponize tackiness. Definitely a target-rich environment. Explosions would make these ads more interesting. Phew. Now that the threat's passed, they can adjust the billboards properly. And they did save a lot of money, which seems to be Oscorp's priority, so I bet this station's in the clear.
So yeah, I predict at least another 3 years before we get a sequel to this game. Fire Dragon X, all those voice actors you listed are like decent enough there, but none of them are my favorites. In fact, Johnny Young Bosch I think is a really big cliche, and I would rather him not be in the show. There's just no reason for him to be in it, unless they have like a character perfect for him, or if he really wants to be in it. But like, he's been in everything. I'm kind of sick of his voice. I'm kind of sick of Johnny Young Bosch. And that's someone who just like saw Trigun for the first time all the way through and thought that his performance as Vash the Stampede is one of the best in the industry, in the entire history of the medium.
Yuri, a group of escaped inmates looks like they've gotten their hands on some serious firepower.
Last thing we need right now is a massive shootout on a residential street. Is this something you can handle quietly?
Quietly might be pushing it, but I can do it without a massive shootout. There might be a bunch of webs around, though.
I'll take it. Good luck.
Real firepower.
Sleep it off.
Spider-Man comes after us. Not me. I got some time with the Shocker. He says Spider-Man's a joke. Spider-Man put him in there. Put Fiscal. Rhino, Electro. Sure. Lucky.
And as soon as he gets whipped up, I'm gonna stealth take down.
Gonna make you pay for that! Oh, we got Spider-Man here! Hey! Where'd everyone go? I need help here! There's Spider-Man! Take him out! He's there! This is our city now! Everyone, watch out! Back up! The guys you just got
Already
out
on
of the
wave
raft,
3?
they sure are eager to go back!
Who's gonna shoot next? I don't think there's any way I'm gonna have
This is not gonna help that you're
enough
parole hearing.
finishers. But I have enough perfect dodges to get the bonus point.
Spider-Man, I'm getting reports of shots fired.
I can confirm that.
So I could always
They're not
just
hitting
like
anyone,
do
though.
this.
Try to keep it that way.
Since I'm the only one they're aiming at, I am totally on board with that. Eat this! Not getting away with that! Get clear! Grenade!
I know what's going on. Hold on. See power. Freaking forced me to do the other thing.
No mercy! Is it sad that a bunch of criminals have more loyal friends than me?
Yeah, it was gadget refill.
I'd love for the people rushing into the fight to be on my side. Heck, I'd even settle for neutral.
5 more finishers. 4 more finishers. I got this. 1. Two. Just need 1 more finisher. And there we go. Perfect.
Captain, the inmates and all their guns are webbed up and waiting.
Thanks. No way we could have taken them without collateral damage. I hope the locals appreciate you.
Going for about an hour and a half. Professor Ella said I don't like Jeffrey Pierce. I don't even know who that is. Hello, kitty. Favorite actor who portrayed Spider-Man? Probably Yuri Lowenthal. As far as live action, I'm still very partial to Tobey Maguire. I think he did a better job than Tom Holland or that's a collision issue. Yeah, I think he did a better job than Andrew Garfield or Tom Holland.
My friends, the Rhino and the Scorpion are back behind bars. But only after wreaking unimaginable havoc in a reckless rampage with Spider-Man. Hopefully, they'll never see daylight again.
Professor Ellis said a while ago when I asked if YouTube was ruining gaming, in MapHav vid he talked about how a lot of games get the success or failure it got because of YouTube, and how games like Skate 3, Surgeon Simulator, and Minecraft got successful because of YouTube, and how games that go against YouTube rules wouldn't be as successful as it was before. I don't think that's accurate. Oh goodness, here's the thing. When it comes to that, YouTube is just word of mouth. It's no different than like just telling your friends that like, oh hey, this game is awesome. it's better. It's a little bit better than that because they actually show them how awesome the game is. Like I'm someone who I bought Minecraft because of Achievement Hunter's Let's Plays. I started getting into Achievement Hunter. I watched their Minecraft stuff, and then I kind of fell in love with the game, and then spent money to get it on PS3. But here's the thing, like, demonetizing the only time that this would be a problem is if YouTube were, for whatever reason, start deplatforming people. Which they're doing, or actually they're not doing, but people want them to do, which is even worse. Because right now, YouTube is actually doing a good job at, like, you know, maybe not fair use or demonetization or whatever. You know, those are still issues that they're doing wrong. But, like, as far as being a platform for all kinds of voices, they've been doing pretty good. They defended Steven Crowder against that Let's Be Queer from Vox, and that's to be commended.
Not a good combo. Literally didn't see that coming. I've got an idea how to settle this. Dance off.
We're down here. I don't dare.
Those were some well-armed convicts.
I think I'm actually gonna start wrapping up. I'll answer your questions and I'll just chill out, but I'm not gonna do anything else in the game. I will just let's find Avengers Tower, and we'll end the stream perched on top of it. So I know it's like down here somewhere, right? City Hall, Wall Street, Trinity Church. Yeah, I'm not gonna do any more of these side things. I'm just gonna swing around here. What was the next question? Oh yeah, I was talking about deplatforming. You can see, like, the big gaming YouTubers are still going to be the big gaming YouTubers. And the games that they, you know, choose to play are still going to be the games that they choose to play. And the games that people choose to buy because they're playing those games are still going to be the games that they choose to buy. The only difference is that certain games are going to get them less ad revenue. But most people already are, like, even big YouTubers aren't relying on YouTube ad revenue. You know, you have, like, Epic Rap Battles of History, arguably, like, the most successful series on YouTube. They have a Patreon. where they get most of their money from. They don't rely. They have merch, and they have Patreon. Overly Sarcastic Productions has a very, very, loyal Patreon user base, as well as I know they're developing merch now as well. Achievement Hunter, Rooster Teeth, they get most of their money off of not YouTube ad revenue or ad revenue in general, but off of merch.
Mark your calendars, folks, because I'm going to say something you thought you'd never hear. Spider-Man got it right. Does that mean I was wrong about him? Am I apologizing? Hell no. You see, I have it on good authority that he is a regular listener of this program. And now, it makes a lot of sense. He heard what I said. He internalized it. And he learned. Improved himself. And against all odds, he did the right thing. So, Spider-Man, you're welcome. However, don't think I'm going to go easy on Spider-Man from here on out. I'll be watching, keeping him honest. Spider-Man, since I know you're listening, imagine my eyes on you everywhere you go. I mean, not like the shower. That would be weird. Or the bathroom. Or, let's go to commercial.
Fire Dragon X asked, what do you think of Bleach? I think Bleach is awful.
What's the status in Vanderbilt? TCP is 5x5.
I think Bleach is Shonen Battle Series at its worst. In a lot of regards. Even when it was good, it wasn't that good. And the anime has, pacing and filler problems that makes Naruto look absolutely tame by comparison. And Ash Baron donated $5 saying, are you excited for Far From Home? I think the red and black suit is probably my favorite Spidey suit in the films. I'm excited for Far From Home. I'm excited to see what they do with it. So I'm not quite sure where they're going with it. Especially like in a post-in-game world. Like, I almost don't want to pay money and say I kind of want in-game to be the end for me. But I like Spider-Man too much, and I like Mysterio too much. Mysterio's like one of my favorite Spider-Man villains, and I like Jake Gyllenhaal. I think he's a fantastic actor. So yeah, I'm going to support the movie to support those characters and those actors. An eclectic 1995 turning Jonah into an Alex Jones type of character was hilarious. Yes, it was. Anyway, gonna check Streamlabs, see if anyone donated there. I doubt anyone had. No one donated to Streamlabs. Yeah, actually, that's a good general rule of thumb. Anyway, so until next time, I guess I should, spend these last few minutes like explaining what I'm doing. Working on an honest look at Futuro from Quintessential Quintuplets. I have the audio completely done for that. I'm waiting on something special to kind of go forward with doing the final visual edits. But expect that. Let's see, today's what? Tuesday? Yeah, today's Tuesday. Expect that out by the end of the weekend. Yeah, by the end of so within a week, Honest Look at Futuro will be out, and I'll be working on an Honest Look at Crow after that. I'll be getting back into doing some Ruby stuff. We'll be doing a podcast on the soundtrack sometime next week as well. And it'll be our first big podcast that we've done since volume You know, since Genlock ended. And then, you know, oh God, what was I gonna... Completely lost my stream of consciousness there for a second. Yeah, Ash, we get the soundtrack, I think, Friday? We might actually be getting it Thursday. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked into that. As far as streams go, Friday I will probably be streaming again. And I'll be doing kind of long form, almost like one-man podcast style stream, like I do with my writer's workshop. I'll be talking, and that's when I'll be talking about video games, like as I promised on Twitter. Like I'll just be talking about video games and the video game industry and some of the strengths and weaknesses video games have. Kind of a test run of my untapped potential in gaming that I've been planning for a long time, and want to, you know, get started on when I have a better computer that can actually capture gameplay and stream games. After that, as far as PS4 streams go, I'll put a poll on Twitter. And it'll be between God of War and Red Dead Redemption 2. Is what it'll be between. It'll be between those two games. I might throw in Shadows of Mordor as a third option, just because I know I have that game and it got brought up, so now it's like kind of on my mind. Ash thoughts on Kimetsu no Yaiba. Haven't watched. Don't even know what it is. I'm not a weeb. I don't actually watch a lot of anime. Like, of all the anime I've watched this year, or of all the anime that have come out this year, I've only actually watched, like, 2 of them. So yeah, until next time, should probably change the channel again, so I can actually see what I'm doing. Oh, it's Demon Slayer. I've heard about it then. I have not watched it. I still have not watched it. It's been recommended to me though. If you know who Dashi is over on like Fatman's channel, she's been trying to like get me to watch it. Anyway, I'm gonna go get some dinner and call it a day.
Folks, I'm hearing a lot of